are Africans.
Esau's doing the exact same thing today.
I want to make a big point about the Canaanites. Them wasn't real Africans. That's who you would call them people. So that we don't have the same customs, we're not the same people. A lot of our people are gravitating right now onto that black, that African. They're trying to gravitate to that shit, man. That's not it. That's a lie that your oppressor told you. Leo Scipio Africanus was an Edomite, a white man, a Roman general that ruled Africa and named the shit after himself when it had a name already, after he conquered it. Okay? Y'all gotta get out of that mentality. We're trying to show you 2/3, man. You know, I'm saying 2/3, but we're trying to sift the elect out of you 2/3. Trying to tell you, hey, that got that type of heathen 2/3 mentality to wise up and see the differences, man. We're trying to lead you back to the righteous way of the Heavenly Father and away from what this polluted ass world has taught you, has trained you to be subservient unto. I got it.
That was it, what I had. That was just to add to what we're speaking on. Because it's like basically, this is what they used to do in the ritual. The Canaanites used to do in their rituals. Well, now Esau, he's doing this ritual, and he got you participating in it, eating this bullshit, man. So that's why it's important that whatever it is that you eat, and make sure as long as it's lawful, of course, pray over that, man.
Yep.
Pray over that meat, man. Whatever you putting in your body, pray over that shit first, man. You don't know what God they didn't pray to.
Yep.
That when they made the sacrifice, you just don't know, man. A lot of these people eating a Christmas dinner and they about to celebrate New Year's. It's about to be a heavy idolatry going on.
Eating gumbo and shit.
Eating gumbo and all that shit is a bunch of trash, man. You wonder why your body is constantly breaking down on you. You had something?
Yeah, I have a quick one. Proverbs 23:6. It says, "Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats."
That goes right into that.
It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, say he to thee, but his heart is not with thee."
And that's twofold. Yeah, because he's feeding you literally the stuff that he like to eat, the way he like it. That's why the standard of how do you say it? Of a well-executed steak is medium rare. The shit still got blood in it. The shit still breathing and shit, man. That's why he likes that shit. That's how he eat it. But it also goes into the philosophies of his belief system. It got you in that, because you got look how bad that it got you eating raw meat on an idolatrous so-called high holy day. Holiday, got you eating real fucked up. What do you think that does to your spirit? That you just had it on October with all the fucking candy. Then you turn around and ate it in November, at the end of November. Now you're eating at the end of December. You turn around another week and eat it a week later.
It defiles your temple.
How long do you think these demons that this shit's putting on you is going to take to get off of them? The illnesses, the physical pains and aches that you don't even associate with the things you put in your body. You have more?
It says, verse 8, "The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words."
Yeah. Sweet words? Yep. Yeah, man, the philosophies, man, are keeping you far away from the Heavenly Father. We're not just telling you to do this because it's not, actually, if you got that in Daniel, Daniel actually did an experiment of eating the difference of changing your diet to a more wise diet. Okay? You see how that plays out, Brother Easy. You got it, bro.
This Daniel 1 and 6. It's like 5.
It's around there. Yeah, you got it.
This Daniel, Daniel 1 at the top.
That's the spirit, because I'm trying to watch my, what I take. So I'm gonna implement, what Daniel did, man. Yeah.
Daniel 1 at the top. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of the Most High, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his power, and he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. And the king spake unto Aspenaz, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
The cream of the crop. He brought the best people that he found into the king's palace to have counsel.
And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank.
So while you're there working, he gotta feed you. The devil's the same way. He gotta feed you. Yeah, you want to work. You gotta work on his plantations. He gotta feed you to keep you working. That's the way it works. But what is he gonna feed you with? The worst.
Yep.
He gets the best. The people of his house get the best. The people outside the house niggas get a little crumbs of the best. But way out in the field, you're on your own. You get the worst. You get the leftovers. That's us in general. You get the crumbs. Because a movie like Django puts a plantation into real perspective. The owner, he gets the best of the best. That movie Platform do it too, right? The further down, now there's other people that work on your plantation that were slavers or whatever you want to call them.
Taskmasters.
Masters, right? Overseers, officers, yeah. All of that, they get a little bit better. And then the slaves get the worst. Okay? In the house, they get a little bit better for pushing out what the king wants. The slave master want. But the whole dynamic is still set up like that today. You go into go to Seven Hills and see what the fuck they eating over there, what restaurants is over there, compared to what we got in our neighborhood.
Hey bro, you take an Edomite charcuterie board and it's gonna be healthier than what the fuck Jake eat, man.
Yep. You bad charcuterie boards.
Bro,
yeah, fucking.
Jake got Slim Jims and
right? Cheez-Its on their fucking charcuterie board. Seedless grapes. This motherfucker got dragon fruit and shit, man.
Star fruit.
Cacao.
Kind.
You got milk chocolate. You got cacao and shit, man. 99% cacao.
Kind.
A thing will clear your whole sinus. Real shit, man. The difference of how good these people eat versus what we eat. Now, I'm talking about regular Joe Blow Edomites. I'm not talking about the elite.
They got various honeys and fresh maple syrups. And
bees still around and this shit. This shit's super fresh.
Okay.
You got it?
It says, and the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof...
Hey, this sounds like the diet that our people eat now. Yeah. Penny and chicken, man. Chicken and beer. Burgers and
fries.
And drink. And
yeah.
Just, just meat and alcohol, man. Yeah. Shit that's drying you out. Imagine what that's doing, the lack of moisture, because alcohol and salt is taken away from it, drying you out. Then your body got to produce all that choler, that bile, to break it down, to get it out of you, to extract the nutrients. Imagine what that's doing to your system. Imagine if all the energy and antibodies is fighting, because this is how your body works. All the energy and antibodies is fighting to break that down. What's left defenseless? Your immune system.
Hey, the end of is running off of chicken tenders and Hennessy, bro.
Yeah.
They see, like Jake in the hood, they just be like, man, we good with chicken and beer and shit.
Chips.
Some you know, some Hennessy and shit. But then when Jake go a little upper, he started bragging about the steak and shrimp.
Yeah.
You know, some filet mignon and shit. And that's
Crab legs.
You know. And then you go a little even above that, escargot and shit.
Yeah.
Snail and shit.
Monkey's brains.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they call the best of the best of them.
Calamari.
They
love that shit.
Calamari.
Yeah.
What is that
Sushi.
shit?
Raw fish.
Yep.
What's that other shit they eat? It's like fish eggs or some shit.
Caviar.
Caviar.
I'm saying it right now. Caviar.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to eat. You ain't supposed to eat it raw. You're supposed to eat it cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooked.
Yeah.
The flesh is different. If you look at the flesh of anything, once it's cooked, it's a different texture. It's presented different. Now, one thing that they have right is how fast you eat it, not how it's supposed to be cooked at a certain temperature. Hey, you know this, right? Meat's supposed to be cooked at a certain temperature, and you gotta eat it fast.
Yeah.
Like get to it quick. You don't want to let it sit there days and under a heating lamp.
Yeah,
and shit.
kind.
You don't want it like that. That's just dead.
Yeah, all
So
them
it's supposed to
germs.
be under like 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
in the
know?
law.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Once it's killed,
Yeah,
once it's
toss it
cooked,
out after the
you're supposed to
3
pretty
days.
much eat it immediately. And then what you don't eat, and you don't.
But it's different because the process of beef jerky, a lot of times it's cooked through smoke.
Yeah.
You know? Kind.
Yeah.
Sun and salt, so it's different.
It's preserved.
Kind.
Served, yeah.
But that's the same thing with when they bottle different vegetables and stuff like that. For like pickles, cans, like also
Right.
yeah, and citrus cooks things as well. You know.
Yep. Hey, you can literally sprinkle or pour lemon juice on fish and it cooks it.
And chicken.
Yep, chicken to a certain, you know, don't get the deep or thicker part, but yeah, the acid in it cooks it. Yeah, it starts that process. Keep reading what's going on.
It says
What are you, about 11, 12?
6.
6, okay.
It says, now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name of Belshazzar, and to Hananiah, Shadrach, and to Mishael, Meshach, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says unto Azariah, Abednego, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now Yahweh had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should ye see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink.
Let's do an experiment, because now you're asking us to give you wisdom that we can understand these things, but you're giving us where our countenance is going to be all fucked up. So let us prove this if it's more beneficial. At least, well, they don't want to eat that. Let me start off eating it, and then let's see how your people look after these many days, after 10 days, and see how we look after 10 days of eating more leaf and pulse. Somebody can look that up. But first thing I thought when I heard pulse was I thought about blood. The blood can move more freely through there, you know?
Hey, well that means what? Because what they put Jacob on those blood thinners.
Yep.
You know, because what? When blood is supposed to be able to coagulate easily.
Yep.
That's why when you get a cut or something like that, what or for example,
out.
if you it won't bleed out. Or if you ever had like if you ever had to have your blood drawn, you know, it doesn't just squirt out. Yep. But when Jake is on that blood thinners, it'll just keep going. You know, it'll just keep spurting out. I have the word pulse. There's Daniel 1 and